Hi guys, it's Ashley from the Candle Collective, and I'm bringing you a video today all about wholesale. It's been around for a long time. It's definitely a way of business for so many small businesses and big businesses. And a lot of the products that we find our ways to in the product aisles and the stores is all done through wholesale. So we're gonna dive into it today. And specifically, we're gonna talk about how I represent my brand once I've already had a wholesale customer landed, and the ways in which I prepare my products to be on the shelves at retailers all around. So if you're new to my channel, you guys, my name's Ashley. I am a serial entrepreneur, and for many years now, I've been starting businesses. A lot of them are service-based businesses, but the recent one that I've been taking you guys along on this journey and this channel specifically is for my product-based business, making candles. Started in December of 2020, and I've really just been wanting to share with you guys the things that I do know for certain with regards to like business acumen and marketing skills and things like that. And then share with you the things that I do not know for certain and really take you on this roller coaster ride with me through the ups and downs of navigating running a product-based business. And kind of just find this like seesaw of this channel really of how I'm navigating what I do know with what I don't know and sharing it with you guys with full transparency. So as I mentioned, today's video is all about wholesale and how I'm managing how I show up for my wholesale clients. And this is really after I've already landed the sale. If you're interested in like how to even get wholesale clients, because that's like a whole video series, if you will, and really just like a business therapy session, if you will, because it's really, really hard. It's not easy. There are for business sake of candles, there are a million other candle companies out there. And nowadays to stand out and to come forth and to represent yourself, we really have to show up and we really have to have a really strong brand presence. We have to have really strong margins to get the wholesale client. And so I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I do have other videos that I will link in the description box below that will help you. So if you're not quite at this point yet for this video, go ahead and check those out. But for this video, let's say we already have a wholesale order that has come into our laps. And it's absolutely wonderful. We've already presented our product. We've already given them the pricing. We have an order in hand, a PO, an invoice, what it might be. And we are fulfilling said order. And it's really important that we give realistic timelines. So especially for a product like candles that have kind of like a run time or a lead time, mine specifically is 2 weeks if I don't have the inventory on hand. When I first started doing wholesale orders, I launched in December 2020. My first wholesale order was January 2021. At that time, I was giving them like a run time of 2 weeks. I wanted to like really show up and blow up and be, you know, not like, hey, sorry, we're running late. Now I'm at a point where I have enough stock and I have enough inventory that the idea is that I'm able to like fulfill orders a lot quicker, and I've really shrunk that time down. Now the thing that I'm dealing with more is delivery times because it's just me. And so I'm trying to like navigate when I can actually get out of my shop and get to said place and get the item delivered to them. And so that's a great problem to have. But what I'm doing now is I'm really focusing on how I'm showing up as a brand within a sea of brands. So when we're doing wholesale, we're usually at retailers that are obviously stocking a lot of different items. And specifically when we're at like boutiques or we're at like retailers that aren't maybe like salons or spas or things of that nature, when we're at retailers, they usually have like a whole arena of, for this instance, candles. So I really need to stand out. And I talk to them a lot whenever we're doing kind of like the discussion around like, you know, flirting with, are they going to carry my product? I really show up with my entire branded kit of things that I give them on their first order. Let them know like this is pretty much my display, and it fits into like their aesthetic, which is always really nice and why I'm like so glad I have a black and white brand. But one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys, and these are by no means things that you have to do, but these are like nice things to kind of get the wheels turning. And it's nice to kind of show up in a very professional manner when you're delivering your first wholesale order, to have this entire like, hey, your setup and your display, it's ready to go. All you need to do is find the retail space, the real estate, if you will, on your shelf. So one of the things that I do is a table tent. So this is like a cardboard thing. I got it from Vistaprint. They're hella expensive, which it bothers me every time because what it is not much. It's like a cardboard table tent. So you can see here that it like folds out and it basically like stays in place for them. And it tells them all about my brand. So the thing that really sticks out, because I don't have on my labels like made in blah and like screaming where these candles originate from. I did that for a purpose, but I don't have that information screaming at them. I have it screaming at them here. So this is like a part of their display. It does take up a bit of real estate on their shelves, but I think it's just a nice to find presentation for the retailers to use, or, you know, maybe they prefer not to, but more often than not, I do see these on display when I go to kind of do a pulse check on my wholesale accounts whenever I get the time, which is getting few and far between. And it also shares a little bit about our mission of giving back, which is like the root of everything that I do at Upside, and I feel like makes it a bit different from the other candles that are on the shelves. Not in a I'm better than you way, but just in a this is like why we're different kind of way. Another thing that I make sure that all of my retailers get are their candle care cards. So whether it's the small ones that I have here or the big ones, it just kind of depends. And I usually ask them, or I kind of assess what kind of real estate they have. I haven't been using these as much. They're a little bit more flimsy and don't really hold their own, but I have like candle care cards. Everybody's got these. Basically trim your wick, mind your P's and Q's. I find that more often than not with the wholesale accounts that I have, the customers aren't getting them. And now that I'm getting like a lot of repeat orders, I'm like, hey, how are you guys doing on your cards? Either they don't answer because they're way too busy, or I find that they just have like a stockpile of them. And that's okay, because they're not meant to like babysit everything. That's just where my messaging on social media and everything really comes through of like, hey, don't forget to trim your wick. I feel like I just say it ad nauseum at this point. One of the other things that I feel like definitely gets on display, so maybe if the table tent isn't on display, given whatever real estate they may or may not have, one of the things that I did is I went to Etsy and I found a local maker that makes these like business card stands. They're basically cement blocks. And they're white, obviously on brand, or they're kind of like an off-white, which is even nicer because I feel like that kind of like offsets my brand a little bit, but complements it really well. And so I bought just like 30 of these. I'm not sure how much they were, but it felt reasonably priced for just being a cement block, and they're well done and they're like sturdy. And so I bought a bunch of these, and then what I have for all of my online orders is a Meet the Maker card. So anytime that I'm shipping an order where I don't know somebody, or, you know, and when I say that, like they're not a friend, because it would be a little redundant for me to be like, hey friend, meet me. Anytime that I don't know someone and I want to kind of bridge the gap between like, I'm not just any other brand, I'd like to get to know you. I know it's obviously one-sided because I'm not like getting a correspondence back from them, but you know, it kind of sweetens the pot a little bit. I have these Meet the Maker cards, and specifically for wholesale, these are really nice. So I kind of set this whole, you know, kit and caboodle together, and it just allows the retailers to put a face to the name. Not every one of them sets them up, but they do tend to like them because it's just a very simple blurb. It's a very easy picture. It's very design complementary to like any setup that the retailer might have. And it just like attaches a face to the name, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't know why, and this is a no knock to like anyone, and if you feel seen by this, like it's not personal, but I just do not like when I'm looking to go to like a new yoga studio or a new like fitness place when they have instructors and they don't have like profiles or pictures of like who the instructors are that are like teaching the class. I don't know why, but I just cannot stand that. Like you don't even have to tell me about the person, but I just love putting like a face to the name. it just feels like so much more human to me. It just feels so much more attachment for me, like something that I can like hold on to and that I can remember. And so this is literally all I'm trying to do is like attach a visual to my brand, because the candles are there, you know, they might get disoriented, they might get like dirty after a while, like who knows. I have a black candle, so I hate going in and like seeing the fingerprints on them. I'm like literally show up to my wholesale accounts with like an alcohol pad, because I'm like, guys, let me just clean them up for you. With that being said, good segue, with every new wholesale order, if you guys have like black matte or dark colored vessels that show fingerprints, do your wholesalers a favor, because it's like they have a million things they have to do anyway. And like, of course, we like love and cherish our brands, and I'm sure they do like at a certain level, but we all have to-dos. Give them some alcohol pads or things that they can like brush up on, so when they go to like backstock, those alcohol pads are there, and then they can go and just like clean up whatever the display is. And that's something that like I'm really big on. Another thing that I don't have here to grab, which would have been really responsible. Hold on. Another thing that I make sure that all of my retailers have, because some of my candles don't have lids on them, and we live in the desert, and honestly, like now is the season where like allergies are just terrible. Wind is an absolute everyday occurrence. So the minute that somebody opens the door to their shop, like a whole like dust cloud just comes in. So I do give dust covers to every single one of the candles for my wholesale accounts. I used to do these with all of my direct-to-consumer online sales, and then I just kind of scaled back. Honestly, it just got a little too expensive, and I really hate that that was the case, but my margins, we've talked about that, were not the best, and so this was something that I just felt like kind of could go. These now are, you know, they're on the shelves. They have a longer lifeline than just like me putting it on a candle, shipping it to somebody, them immediately taking it off and like using it. These like obviously, well, hopefully they don't live on the shelves very long, if you catch my drift. But for them, like staying on the shelves, having a nice presentation, I do the dust covers for all of my wholesale accounts for my signature vessels that don't have a lid. These are the things that come standard with all of my wholesale accounts, whether they're delivered, whether they're shipped, doesn't matter. And it's just my way of trying to be a bit more in the driver's seat, and honestly, hopefully making it easier for the retailer, because, you know, I don't know like what their experience is, and I probably should ask them, like, do you guys even like this? Do you want this? When I've showed up with this stuff, they've always seemed very like responsive in a positive way. Like, thank you so much. I don't know if they're just fluffing my feathers. I don't think they are, because most of them I have a pretty good, you know, banter with and relationship with. So I think that we're good. And I think they would be like, oh no, we don't need that, or we won't use that. And this is just my way of like trying to do an extra step and trying to be responsible about like their time and their energy and the things that they have to organize and display and do all the time. So I wanted to share that with you guys in hopes that maybe it'd be helpful. I know there is like this big, huge sea of like, I don't really know what I'm doing with wholesale, and especially if you're a small business owner, if this is your first go at running like a product-based business, wholesale can kind of be this like big, scary engine that we just don't really know like how to navigate or like where to even start. And honestly, the best advice that I can give you guys, besides looking at those videos in the description below, is you just have to start. You have to know and trust that you are the expert of your product, and know that they are the expert of their list of to-dos as well. And then you just kind of have to have a happy medium in the middle. You're gonna get a lot of no's, and damn it, it's gonna break your heart. I think last week I just came off of like a flood of no's. I think I got like 7 back to back, and you know, I cried a little, I'll be honest. But hopefully at some point, you know, maybe one of those 7s will be a yes down the line. No one's ever disrespectful or rude. And, you know, they, like I said, they just have a list of things that they have to do all the time. And we do too. And so you just have to be mindful of that. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you're interested in my 30 for 30s, all the details are below. And if there's a certain type of video on wholesale that you guys would like to see or topic of discussion, I would love to hear it. As always, please comment below. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you know, that's like my favorite thing ever, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.